G.I. Joe fans, Joe Motion Videos 82 here. It is time for another G.I. Joe toy review. And today we're going to be like Marty McFly and we're going to take a trip back to 1985. And we're going to be looking at the G.I. Joe Air Defense. Yes, this is one of the smalls that I'm a big fan of. I love the smaller play sets. They're very affordable. But this one, it's okay. The play factor is so. As a kid, it would have been cool. I mean, it looks great as a display. Looks like something your grandparents would have got you for your birthday, or an aunt or an uncle. They saw G.I. Joe and, hey, you know, my niece or nephew, or my nephew, yeah, your niece too, you know, or my grandson or granddaughter loves G.I. Joe, so let's get this for them. And you only have 2 or 3 action figures. And, you know, this would have been one of those kind of an odd man out type play sets. So this would have been something in my mind, been something for a more heavy collector to complement your collection. But this definitely would look great for action figure photography. That is a lot of great toy photographers out there. You know, Photo Viper, Mylar, Serpentors, Lair, just to name a few that I know of personally that do great action figure photography. There are so many more out there that do that post on Twitter, Facebook, you know, all the social media sites. And, you know, I really don't have time. I wish I had more time on my hands just to flip through and download these pictures so I could display everybody's artwork up on my intro, give everybody a chance to see how talented a lot of these people are out there. But I digress. So this is a pretty decent looking play set, don't get me wrong. It hit the shelves in '85. It featured Flint and Bazooka on the cover. Apparently you need one guy to push the button and another one to point, and that's it. I would think this would be more of a unmanned surface to air missile, you know, just a guided system where somebody's off way in the distance in some shack somewhere guiding this instead of right next to it in the blast zone. But they have to show action on the pack, because that's what that's what sells it, is the action. That the card art is what sold the toy, at least for me it was. So it was released in '85 and it was on the shelves until 1987 when it was discontinued. But it was also available through Hasbro Direct or mail order, along with the Cobra, Battle Bunker, and Checkpoint Alpha. From '88 to '91. That is something I did not know. Okay, so I'm learning as we're going here. That is pretty cool. So that's something I like to do, is to learn. I don't proofread all of this stuff, so I learn as this is going on. So I'm shooting live, as it were. So that is really neat. That they sold these 3 things together. So this would be the polar opposite to Cobra's Battle Bunker, and Checkpoint Alpha was another. I reviewed that a while back. That is such a cool play set. I really enjoyed that, and it came out around the same time period. very cool play set, and that could have been the battle station where this was fired from. But I'll pull up the card art here in a second. It never didn't make any comic book appearances and never appeared in the cartoons. It retailed for $2.39, just a few cents more than an action figure. That's what I loved about these smalls. They, just a little bit more than an action figure would cost, and you would get a play set. And for me, that just blew my mind. It's like, whoa, I could get a small vehicle or I could get an action figure. Whoa. And for me, I opted for the action figure because I didn't have very many of those at the time. And I missed out on a lot of the smaller vehicles. And actually, I didn't have a lot of vehicles growing up. It wasn't until I was about 14 when my mom bought a bunch of vehicles and action figures from her coworker. And that was the most that I ever had at one given point. So it was just primarily the action figures that we had, and I was cool with it. I was just grateful to have any toy, really, growing up. But this one, yeah, it's obscure. That's the word that I was really groping for. But at the same time, it is very cool. So let me pull up the card art, and then we'll get into the review. We'll look at this thing and see what it has to behold. So you can see from the packaging that it had the little eyelet up at the top, so it would hang up on a peg right in the aisle with your action figures. And I don't recall right offhand anybody owning this one. I don't even think my friend John had this. I don't have any memory of playing with it. It was, if he did have it, I mean, I saw it, it's like, yeah, cool, okay, and we didn't do anything with it because it really didn't fit into any play scenarios. But I do remember seeing it inside of Kmart. This particular Kmart was further into town from our house, so it was kind of a special treat to get to go out to this specific Kmart because it was a little bit of a drive. It was for the folks who live out here in Arizona. It was out at Lindsay and University in Mesa, in downtown Mesa. At the time when you walk in, you were hit with a G.I. Joe display right when you walk in. This was 85, 86. So you got that, whoa, that blast of G.I. Joe. That's the one thing I remember, one of the fondest memories I have of that toy line. That particular year, I shouldn't say toy line, but that particular year was the display right at the front door. And off to your right, you had snack bar, then you had the customer service desk, and then the check stands. So we would have to walk ahead, and you have your clothing and then your toy aisles. And further off to the back, there's the garden department, automotive, sporting goods, blah, blah, blah. But I do remember seeing this up on the pegs and looking at it and thought, oh, okay. It looks cool. I love the box art, and thought, just staring at it, thought, okay, this would be kind of neat, to have at home. It looks, everything looks so good in the stores, right? Then you get home and like, oh man, why did I buy this? I could have bought an action figure, or I could have gotten this and that, but never had it, never played with it. So unfortunately, I can't share those memories with you, but certainly the memory of Kmart, which is sadly no longer around. I mean, they had some of the best subs there. Gosh, good subs. Their snack bars. I remember they had apple dumplings too that weren't too bad either. Popcorn, of course, was always good. Fresh popcorn, smell that. But anyway, so let's go ahead and take a look at this toy instead of talking about Kmart cuisine. So let's see what this toy has to behold. All right, so the backdrop is pretty bland. It's just my bins with some action figures in it, and that is from the Predator blood that I made. It melted through the styrofoam because it leaked out of the bag that I had it in. So it is a little caustic. So looking at this, you have your radar dish here on the front. People are starting to 3D print these. So I've seen a few of the replacement missiles that are 3D printed, but it's on this stand that rotates 360 degrees. Fires 2 of these surface-to-air missiles. Here on the bottom is the control panel that showed Flint pushing the button on one of the panels and are on here to fire the missile, not to, mention any of the backblast that came from the missile and the exhaust and the toxic fumes that came from the rocket fuel. None of that. They're Joes. They're tough, right? So I'm taking that these are more targeting sensors than anything, heat sensors or whatnot. It's all what your imagination could produce. So the missile itself, both of them are duplicates. It does say the United States, a little danger sticker here. Mark IV TAC or 1AC AD missile done in this orange plastic. This is actually a pretty formative looking missile. It pegs right on to the bottom on the dumbbell peg. These stay on fairly well, actually. Really impressed with how well these stay on. Made out of a sturdy plastic. Here on the back, the missile arms are a darker gray plastic with some more, there we go, more machine work type detail on it. As an adult, I'm looking at it through different eyes, and I do appreciate it. Here's an access door, for repairs and whatnot. I mean, Hasbro didn't spare any expense when it came to the early years of G.I. Joe. You got more bang for your buck. If this would have come out in the 90s, I'm sure it would have been a little bit cheaper. Looking in, the whole thing probably would have been a neon color. It was the pastel 80s and the neon 90s. So this was still more along the lines of the militaristic colors. And of course, the missiles have to be a little bit brighter, just to break up the doldrums of the more subdued colors. Those bright colors attract children. And the bright orange missiles don't upset me at all. I actually have no problem with that whatsoever. This is a decent little play set, if you want to call it that. I guess the proper way of displaying it would be the control panel here to the side. But, for $2.39, this is not bad at all. It's a pretty decent little toy. All right, so looking further on yojo.com, Checkpoint Alpha and the Cobra Bunker all came out that same year. So it makes sense that all three of these were sold together as a trio on Hasbro's website. And, that would have been pretty cool to buy. And then usually you got them at a fairly decent price. Maybe a little different color. So it would so you would know, for collectors to know that this was a mail-in instead of one that you bought retail, because they usually had surplus of things of this nature. Let's say there was a vamp that they sold later on, that would be a lighter green instead of the darker green, so on and so forth. So anyway, yeah, I missed a lot of stuff on Hasbro Direct. I remember John ordering the Cobra Commander, hooded Cobra Commander, and it seemed to be forever for it to come in, and Sergeant Slaughter, you know, 6 weeks was an eternity to wait for a toy to come in, and I mean, when you get it's it is like Christmas. You finally, your long awaited toy arrives in the mail, and comes in that special packaging, and just really neat getting those. So I'm typing in air defense. On eBay. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into my favorite segment, Byron's Gripes. For those of you who are just joining, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you stopping by the Toy Dungeon. I hope you feel welcome. Please hit that subscribe button while you're here, and hit the notification bell, and please give me a thumbs up. The thumbs up actually helps Hasbro, or helps Hasbro. Now, Hasbro doesn't give a rip. Helps YouTube with the algorithm, so they know that my videos are being watched, and that helps them to distribute to a broader audience, and gets my videos more views, and that helps the channel grow. And when the channel grows, guess what? I hold giveaways. So every 100 subscribers I reach, or that I obtain, I hold a giveaway. And my next giveaway, when I reach 700 subscribers, will be one of these Cobra Island Breaker and Ram cycles. So yes, sir, I will be giving one of those away, definitely. So all you have to do is be a subscriber or a channel supporter to be entered into a giveaway. So here we go. With Byron's Gripes, I use eBay as a reference. That is it, just a reference. I don't pick on eBay or the sellers. You will not find that on this channel. If you are looking for a bully, go to somebody else's channel. You will not find it here. I do make fun of the prices, though. Some of these prices are just a little bit outlandish. Just because it says G.I. Joe, it does not mean it is valuable. Okay, it's a little bit of Joe-flation going on there. So here we go. Here is one new in box. $274 or better offer. That's not too terrible. but it's a little bit high. I personally would not pay that much for an unopened toy, but I am not a mint in box collector exclusively. I do have some things that are mint in box, GI Joe, but that's because I got it really cheap. Here is one that's 100% complete that comes with the box. $52.58. That's still. This was not an uncommon toy, guys. If it was sold on Hasbro Direct, it's not uncommon. I mean, this thing was on the shelves for 2 years and then Hasbro Direct for another 2 years. So that's 4 years exposure time. This is not a rare toy. Here's another one, mint in box. I will call this one deal of the day, $53.65. That person has their head right where it should be. So thank you very much to that individual. Here is just the armature. It's missing the base and the radar dish, $8. Here is one complete. $19.99, but they're wanting $12.99 in shipping. That shipping rate is a little bit high, but not terrible. Here's one $24.99 with blueprints, deal of the day. Blueprints $3.99, deal of the day. Here's another one complete, deal of the day for $14.99. $9.75 for blueprints. That's a little bit too expensive, so no. Here is the radar dish, $5. Put that with deal of the day. Blueprints again, $2.99, deal of the day. Here's one $27.99. Oh, it's the high end of okay. So deal of the day. The dish again, $5. Here's one complete with the box, $54.99. Here's a set of two complete, $39.99, deal of the day. I mean, $20 each, not bad. Here's the base, one for $8 and one for $4.99. Okay, it's not too terrible. Another one, $21.99. I have a feeling we're going to be going all day with this. The two missiles, $14.99. The missile arms, $1.99. The display with the missile launcher without the missiles, I'm trying to think of the appropriate word for it, $19.99. I don't. Okay. I went. That's okay. Deal of the day. Why not? Just be careful with shipping, and you might still be able to come in pretty good. Here's a single missile, $8. Here's one missing the radar dish, $15. I think not. Another missile, $8. Blueprints, $4.25. Yeah, there's just several pages of it. Another missile, 99¢. Okay, that's fantastic. That's not bad at all. The arm that holds the missiles, $1.49. That one's marked down from $1.99. Yeah, there's just several pages of this. Like I said, this is not a rare toy at all. Here's one that's a little bit yellowed, so I can understand that. It's a gray plastic, so it will yellow over time. So yeah, there's just several pages of this. So by no means is that a rare toy. It cracks me up when somebody has a tagline, rare, capital letters with little explosions next to it. Yeah, that's all it is a tagline. It's not rare, guys. You know, I mean, what would be rare? You know, it would be the Deep Six with the killer whale instead of the dolphin. That's rare. Goldhead Steel Brigade, that's another one. So, I mean, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, and how deep are your pockets? I mean, these are good deals for some people and terrible for others. So it's all up to you guys. But I do this just as a reference to kind of give you an idea of what to expect if you're new at collecting. So anyway, thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you very much to my new subscribers and to all of you who have stuck with me through these past 6 years, 7 years. It's been quite fun. It's been a lot of work, but I enjoy every bit of it. I love reading your comments, so please don't forget to leave me a comment. I get back with you as quick as I can. For some reason, YouTube has been dropping the ball and not getting all the comments out to me, so I have to search for them and answer back. So if you haven't heard back in a while, I do apologize. It's just that I missed the comment. And if I do see it, I do answer back. So please forgive me for not answering. But I do my very best to get back with you guys. You leave me a comment, you deserve an answer. So anyway, thank you again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for your support. Stay tuned next week for another G.I. Joe toy review. Who knows? Will it be modern, vintage? I usually don't know until that day most of the time. I don't have a set schedule. It's just whatever tickles my fancy. I'll go through my collection and say, hey, okay, let's do this one. So today it was this. I took a look at it and said, hey, I haven't reviewed that one before, so let's go ahead. And sometimes I might forget that I had reviewed it because I've been doing this for so long. I used to keep track, and I stopped doing that. So if it's a double review, I do apologize. It's not intentional. So anyway, you guys, thank you again. I can't thank you enough. This channel would not exist without you. So anyway, take care. Stay safe out there. Remember, be kind to everybody. You never know what kind of day someone's having. Be kind to yourselves as well. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of other people. Stay healthy. Kindness goes a long way, and it improves your health too. It's been proven. And be kind to your animals. They know nothing but unconditional love. So we'll see you later. It's Joe Motion Videos 82 saying bye for now. Talk to you later.